if you want to see. The psalmist, we said it earlier, the psalmist cried out, open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. Open the eyes of my heart. Look at this passage in Matthew chapter 20. It says, as Jesus and his disciples were leaving Jericho, a large crowd followed him, and two blind men were sitting by the roadside. And when they heard that Jesus was going by, they shouted, Lord, Son of David, have mercy on us. The crowd rebuked them and told them to be quiet. Everybody back then was like us today. We did dumb things. But they shouted all the louder, Lord, Son of David, have mercy on us. And Jesus stopped and called them. What do you want me to do for you? He asked. Lord, they answered, we want our sight. Jesus had compassion on them and touched their eyes, and immediately they received their sight and followed him. That's what happens when you see. That's the confirmation that you're beginning to see to the measure you're following him. So the question we ask ourselves, do we want to see? Do we want to see? Do we want to see? We must stop hanging out with people that are just blind like us. We must want to see more than anything else and cry out like the psalmist, cry out like these two blind men that were literally blind, with the spiritual message obviously intertwining this. I want to see. What do you want? What do you want? Lord, Son of David, have mercy on us. What do you want? What kind of miracle do you want? I need to see. I need to see, Lord. I need the same miracle that you gave Elisha's servant. I need to see. You want to see? You've got to want to see, and you've got to stop living among the blind. You've got to want to see, and you've got to stop living among the blind. There's only one other thing I can tell you beyond that. The desire to see and to stop hanging out with other blind people so much. You've got to then intentionally start living among those who can see. Very intentional. Insert yourself into environments where sight is restored. If you were here Wednesday night, forgive my redundancy. The writer of Hebrews, all he's saying is, go back and look at the same view you've been looking at, only see some things you've never seen before. And the only advice the writer of Hebrews gives us in the whole book in how to do it, he says, don't stop assembling yourself together. He's talking about church. He says, do not shrink back. What's he saying in all that? He's saying, you have got to be intentional, priority one, to put yourself in the environment where Jesus is opening blind eyes, where he's touching people, where he's giving them revelation knowledge. Remember after the resurrection of Jesus, that the disciples, they're starting to put some of it together, but they're still struggling trying to compute what has happened here. And I love the story that two of the Gospels have concerning two of the disciples that were on the road to Emmaus. And Jesus encountered them and walked along with them, and he began to talk, and they went to a house and they had a meal together. And the Bible says at that point, the eyes of their understanding began to open. And they finally began to understand. Things finally began to click. We're talking about people who've been hanging out with Jesus for maybe up to 3 years. Hearing it, seeing it, but not seeing it. And then and only then were their eyes open where they could see it. And then they said, didn't our hearts burn within us? Can I tell you something? That Jesus that day on the road to Emmaus did not tell them anything he had not told them probably time and time and time and time again. And it just kind of watered off a duck's back. That day he told them things, because the Bible gives us enough information to tell us kind of what he was talking to them about. It was the same stuff he'd talked to them about many times before. But this time they saw. They were looking at the same view, but this time they saw something they'd never seen before. They said, didn't our hearts burn within us? It was moving us. It was changing us. It was inspiring us. Looking at the same view, but seeing something different. We've got to want to see. Cry out with everything that's, Lord, I want to see. And then we got to make sure that we're not just living among people that can't see. We've got to very intentionally put ourselves in a consistent environment where God is opening people's eyes. I'm going to tell you right now, Cornerstone Family Church, we got a big vision here. Can I break bad on you for a second? Okay, then I won't. Butterflies, flowers, we're all so nice and wonderful. Is that better? There's plenty of that on TV. You can go home and watch that later. When we're here and the Lord moves, I have heard the heart cry of this house. You are a people that has gathered together in this place because you knew there was more. Whether you were unchurched or came from some other place, you knew that, and I'm not talking about more because of Cornerstone, I'm talking about the bigger picture. I'm talking about God. You knew that God was wanting to do more. Do something with your life and our lives collectively and in the earth than what we have seen. I've seen your heart, not just with the desire, but even in occasions, the compliance of your heart. It's like, yes. I've seen us together in those moments when we're just like on the same page going, yes, 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 Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord. I've seen it in us. We've spoke the vision and we've cast that thing out there on the waters, and you guys say, let's do this thing. You know our single biggest problem at Cornerstone Family Church? When it comes to truly inserting ourselves with consistency into this environment of God, we're terrible. I am not exaggerating that much when I say it's almost a different congregation every Sunday in here. If people were to ask me, so what do you consider a consistent person down at Cornerstone Family Church, where you say that person is part of the house? I'd say someone that I see twice a month. Well, I don't know how much God can do in you twice a month, but it probably ain't going to be a whole heck of a lot. Let's just get real. And I know I get on these things and I push it to the edge where I even realize that I'm ready to maybe offend some people, make them bad, and go, well, fine, then I'll go somewhere else where they don't beat me up like that. I'm just giving you reality, guys. We have got to trash this American mindset of church. Lord have mercy. We look at the stories of Jerusalem. The church was added to daily. Everybody and his brother was getting saved. There were signs and wonders and miracles. You couldn't sling a dead cat without hitting a miracle. And the only thing I can tell you clearly from those stories was it said they were meeting together daily. Lord have mercy, I'm asking for once or twice a week. And I'm thinking God can do something big with that in America because we're pretty spoiled. It's not like we're really going to stop doing all of our recreation and entertainment stuff and actually get together every day. There has to be a different set of rules from the American church, wouldn't you say? Yeah. You know? Well, we're in trouble then. Because I don't know how we're going to change our schedules at this point. Well, I'll tell you what we can do, though. You prove me in this and see if I'm not right. If God will not back me on this, you start committing yourself on a more consistent basis to get your life in the environment where God is opening our eyes together. And it will blow your mind, and it will blow the city's mind what God will do here.